welcome in. How are you guys doing today, chat? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome in. I'm so sorry for being a little bit late. I just woke up and I just ate, so I was trying to finish my food before we watched some Warhammer today. But hi everyone, welcome into the stream. How are you guys today, chat? Welcome in. Alright, give me a second, chat. I gotta go ahead and let me drink some water. I finished chewing and hi, welcome into the stream. Welcome in. Alright, well, today chat is Monday. Happy Monday! Every Monday we watch YouTube together! Yeah! Today is a special Monday though. Does anyone know why? Does anyone know why it's a special Monday? It's because today I showered. And I also Okay, sorry, not yet. Today is a special day because today is Outbreak's 1 month anniversary! Yeah! Today marks 1 month of being debuted with Outbreak. So yeah, today's gonna be a fun day. I'm gonna do a collab with Outbreak later today at 5. So I'm probably streaming for maybe like an hour and a half today, and then I'm gonna take a little break just to like eat some lunch and stuff and get ready for the collab. And I'll be back live again on Twitch and YouTube. But right now it's just a YouTube only stream. So yeah, hi, welcome into the stream, guys. Welcome in. Doing alright. You're currently at a stoplight on the way home. Drive safe, Alexander. Thank you so much for stopping by in chat. Drive safe, and let us know when you're home. I need to know you got home safe. You woke up like 20 minutes? Yeah, same, Briar. I woke up like 20 minutes ago, or wait, I think I woke up like an hour ago, but I just got out of bed. Like it takes I need to rot in bed with my phone before I get up for the day. So yeah. New shower streak started. Yes, chat. I've showered every day for like 5 days, I think. I don't know. Wait. No, 3 days. I skipped showering 2 days ago. I did skip showering one of the days of the monetization stream. And then, yeah. So, I don't remember. But okay, I did shower yesterday. Yeah, I did. But yeah, allegedly. Leave me alone. I've been waiting all day for this. I'm so excited. Thank you, Motaro. Thank you. Let's fashion as always, like welcoming everyone in. Welcome into the stream, Motaro. Welcome into the stream by air. Welcome ODS. Welcome in Thunder. Welcome in Alexander. Welcome in Rihan. Welcome in Ryer. Welcome in 02. Welcome in Tank. Welcome in Blue. Welcome in Biako. Did I say that right? I don't think I did. Welcome in Draco. Welcome in the Norvin. Welcome in Prom. Welcome in Human Being. And welcome in Alpha. I think it's everyone here today. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for coming today. We have a lot of people on this site. I don't normally stream at this hour, so once again, I'm always surprised there are people here. I stream much later than this, so thank you for coming in today. You and Jim Carr should have a laugh off. Dude, chat, if I fucking get to meet Jimmy Carr, I freak out. Wait, who the hell? Wait, is Jimmy Carr? Wait, who is Jimmy Carr? I don't know who Jimmy Carr is. Actually, sorry, never mind. I think I got confused on who he was. I'm still at work, but I'm listening in. Have a great day at work, Thunder. Thank you so much for looking in my stream today. Thank you. And welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Yeah, we have a big week ahead of us, chat. Did you guys see the stream schedule? I posted it on Twitter. I got an update on YouTube still. I hope I do that today if I remember. But I might not remember. But here, if you guys want to see, here's a link to my streams this week. Dude, I don't know what happened. I said I was gonna stream less this week, but it just did not work out like that. I gave myself one off day though for Sunday, so we have that though. I didn't know bro was live. Oh shoot, yeah, I gotta post it on the oh shoot, I gotta post it on Discord. Hold up. Yeah, I don't have a Discord command for YouTube. Can I set that up, chat? Actually, I don't know how to set it up. Chat, I want you guys to know I've never set up any of my bots. All my stuff is on not live with Warhammer on YouTube. All my stuff was set up by like my mods or someone else, so I'm fucking clueless. It's kind of I don't know, it's stupid, chat. But yeah. Alright, anyways, let me go ahead and pop up the chat here. Alright guys, ready to watch some Warhammer? We're gonna be watching part 2 of Bricky's series, but let me get to that in a moment. What is the Discord? I can't find it. Can you get a link to the Discord for chat for us? Can we get any quickly opinion on who will win the 100 average men or one gorilla hand-to-hand combat? Just hand-to-hand combat? I mean, it depends on the men. What kind of men are we getting? Are we getting like extreme buff, like Dwayne the Rock men, or what are the men? I need more information, Thunder. I need to know. Right now, my bets are on the 100 men. I mean, that's a lot of them, right? Need to set up one for YouTube only streams. Yeah. Oh, we're in for a treat today. Yeah, we are. Hi, Blue. Welcome into the show. Come in. Welcome in. What is it? Tomorrow, chat, we're gonna be doing members only. Oh, that's false bot on Twitch chat. I don't have my YouTube chat connected to my overlay, and I don't know if I ever will do that, but I'm not very good at organizing myself. I got some of your daily lives. Hi, welcome into the stream, sir. To welcome in. Glad to see she still had to set up a bot to notify Discord. Fuck you! I don't want a bot. I do want a bot. Yeah, we should set that up. Yeah, I gotta remember how. I gotta remember to do that. Okay, Dad. Let me go ahead and get my video out really quick so we don't spend too much time yapping. But happy Monday, chat. I hope everyone has a great week ahead of them. Where's my DMs with staff? I use my staff's DMs to link all the videos I plan on watching there, so I don't have to actually Google it. Okay. The problem is that there's actually a lot of messages. What is it? Okay, there you go. We're gonna watch part 2 of the Warhammer series. We only watched part 1, and I'm pretty excited for part 2. Are we gonna learn about Purple Nurgle in this part? I hope so, chat. I'm like, I really want to know who Purple Nurgle is. Like, that's the only name I know, chat. I know I'm constantly screaming Purple Nurgle, but I need to know who is my spirit animal. Hi, Naoto. Welcome into the seal. Come in. I'm here. You just got to the objectives mechanics yet. Have we got to the objectives mechanics? No, not yet. We haven't started yet. We're about to in a moment. So let me go ahead and switch over to the side. Thank you so much for the follow, Jared. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Thank you. Let me make sure I turn off. Let me turn off notifications, chat. So, if you guys don't know, when I'm watching YouTube together with you guys, I turn off notifications and stuff like that. So, if anyone does any memberships or super chats or anything like that today, I'll be sure to thank you guys after we finish watching the video, so I don't interrupt the video too much. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a warning for those of you guys that just came in. Hi, now welcome into the stream. How you doing today? Admech was in part 1. Oh, that is Medicate. Oh, shoot, sorry. Okay, sorry, I forgot. There's a lot to remember, chat. There's a lot to remember. Okay, I know what you're talking about, I think. I have an image. Adeptus Medicus were the weird techno guy from part 1. Yeah, chat, am I brain rotted? Like, I can very distinctly remember Sisters of Battle and Sisters Silence, and everything else starts to become a little bit of a blur, but hopefully we'll get a bit of a recap. I am planning to rewatch, I want to watch Bricky's new part 1 they have. I saw a lot of people recommending me to watch that, so I was like, yeah, we'll watch it. I wanted to watch it after we watched all the parts, so I can understand, like, the overview of Warhammer a bit, and then after that, we can deep dive deeper. Because, you know, I'm still new to this, so yeah. This is a matter very memorable, right? They're so hot. I like that they have like the church tanks, like the what is it called? The orchestra. You know the orchestra? What is it called? I forgot what it's called. Like they have tanks, and it's like the big ass piano they play in the churches. Mochi be like woman. Neuron activates. Yeah. Today is a lot of the down bad factions. Oh really? Okay, I'm excited to see. You did every. It's pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Organ tanks. There you go. Yeah. The pipe organs. Yes, thank you. Hi, McFlair. Welcome in. Why is this stream so early? I don't know. I just placed it early. I think I placed it early so I can have a break before our outbreak stream today. So, yeah. I also gotta make a waiting room for that. So, let me go make that. Okay, sorry, I'm getting the video out right now. Okay, so yeah. On a Tuesday even. It's a Monday for me. Has Mochi made contact with /shish yet? I don't think I have, but correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Could be wrong. Okay. Alright, there you go. And let me get my audio up. Chat, how's this audio sound right now? Is this good volume?
In a 2-part series on the
Is this good volume?
Races. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, we do the Imperium of Man. You can check that out in the description, and I would highly recommend.
Alright. Okay, cool. I hope the volume's good. Let me know if that didn't sound good though. Let me get the video open for you guys. Here you go. Alright, ta-da! Alright, nice. Louder? You guys want it to be louder? It's a bit quiet. Okay, a bit higher. Let me see. How about this? Is this better?
Hey all, this is part 2 in
What,
a two-part
and
series
this is what I'll be
on
talking
the
at?
Warhammer races. If you haven't seen
what?
part 1 yet, we do the Imperium of Man.
How was that? How was that? Sounds like a cinema recording audiobook. It's also black. Oh yeah, I didn't turn it on yet. It takes me a bit to get that organized. I hope that's a bit better. But yeah. Alright, chat. So, let me do some more really quick. Alright, chat, welcome back to more Warhammer! Last time we watched part 1 and we learned about, I believe the human factions, right? My favorite faction from that was Sister of Battle. I love hot nuns. I love nuns. They're really cool and badass. So that's my favorite faction from that. I'm hoping to learn maybe about Purple Nurgle today. I think I heard him mention God of Chaos last video, so... Wait, no, he's not the God of Chaos. Wait, he's the God of Filth or something, right? Wait, let me know. We love nuns. Yeah, I'm sorry, not just me. We all love the nuns. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch this. So let's go ahead and deep dive back into the Warhammer lore. Hot Nun's good. We love Armored Woodmen. Yeah. He's the god of Asmongo. The chat, what the fuck? God of VTubers? Nurgle is the god of rot. Oh, the god of rot. Oh shit. That's why everyone compares me to him, because I keep rotting. Okay, well, I'm excited to learn about Purple Nurgle. Okay, I need to know who am I being compared to? And I want to know everything about him. But we might just get a quick overview in this video, though. But yeah, let's see. I'm not sure what to expect, but yeah, we'll get started now.
Hey all, this is part 2 in a two-part series on the Warhammer races. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, we do the Imperium of Man.
Yeah, we saw part 1.
In the description, and I highly recommend you watch that.
It was really fun. I think I laughed a lot.
If you already have, go ahead and keep on watching. So after an entire episode of nothing but humans, we can now talk about chaos, which involves humans again. But nevertheless, we also got demons and shit.
Yeah, demons!
What?
Like hard.
What?
Nick.
So, as I've mentioned many times before, we've discussed the
Holy
warp,
shit.
the
I forgot he doesn't have
immaterial,
legs.
the hellish landscape, the purgatory dimension realm between the material realm of our existence. Now, in the warp, it's terrifying, horrible. There are demons everywhere. Things are crazy. All your minds and thoughts and emotions get projected there. It is both formless and empty. It is vast and tiny. It obeys the laws of time and physics while simultaneously does absolutely nothing of the sort. It is a hodgepodge and a culmination of just unknowable, eldritch, horrifying shit. And there are 4 gods that permeate in chaos and the warp. These
So there's
are
4
the
gods that
4
live in it?
major chaos gods. And if we wish to learn about chaos, we need to learn about
I see
each and every
him!
single
The
one
Purple
of these chaos
Nurgle, my
gods.
goat!
First up, we have Khorne, and he is the easiest. Khorne is your classic Satan. He is all about anger, murder, fighting, blood, guts.
Yep, sounds
death.
like
You heard
Satan
the
to me.
term
Yeah.
Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull.
Oh
throne?
yeah, I heard
That's
those terms all the
Khorne.
time.
The whole idea is that he is all about the fury and strength of battle. He doesn't care where blood comes from, so long as blood is flowing. He wants to fight and murder and carnage and slaughter and death.
Damn.
That is Khorne. Very
You think he
simple
needs
to understand.
therapy?
Next up, you have
The god.
Tzeentch, and Tzeentch is the god of change.
Tzeentch.
However, the god of change, it's permeates in so many different other ways. He's the most eldritch of all the demon gods. He has this weird way to always
Whoa,
be
his design looks pretty cool.
of the universe.
He looks like he
He's
has like
always
multiple
conniving,
mouths. Like,
scheming and doing
see
his
the
best
fangs?
to cause as much little bullshit as he can. Tzeentch is unknowable. Everything
He's
that
scheming.
makes sense, he will and won't do. Every future and setting and every type of destiny or fate is all foretold and also changeable. It is set in stone while also completely random. He knows what everything is going to happen and also that none of it's going to happen. You would ask Tzeentch a question.
Oh, he's like
That
a meat
question
man?
leads to 3 more questions. And those
I don't know, that's what
questions
Chad said.
lead to the heat death of the universe, which asks 4 answers to those questions. And then he thinks to himself, what are questions even really? And are
Oh,
you even
this is
asking
fan art, I
questions,
see.
or are you simply giving paths to answers and other horse shit? Tzeentch is just, I'm gonna fuck with stuff. He is yes and he is no. He is the understanding and he is complexity.
I really like the way he did that
is
voice there.
unknowable. And that's what the God of Change is about. Very bizarre. And he likes birds a lot. I don't know
Oh,
why.
he's a bird
Next
watcher.
Up, we got Papa Nurgle. Papa Nurgle.
Nurgle! Oh, Nurgle.
I
I was saying Nurgle.
He will murder you just
Nurgle.
the same. But Papa Nurgle is about rot, pestilence.
Yeah, my goat!
He
My
is
goat!
the end of everything. Him and Zeech do not like each other very much because where Zeech represents change and adjustment,
They hate each
Nurgle
other.
represents stagnation and death. He is all about miasma and
Oh,
pestilence
damn.
and
I'm not about
large
death.
bloat and pus and organs
Ew.
and people just being sedentary, sloth.
Yo,
He
this
has
is
the idea
brittle.
that everything will rot and decay and die. Nothing is certain besides decay and death. All of us will end up the same way.
That's a grim way to see the
broken
world.
down
But I
in
guess
just
kind of
sheer,
true.
never-ending decomposition. So the joke that Nurgle always loves you is generally because of that. Because we all end up the same. We all rot. And we all die.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's Nurgle.
But
And
that's
he's
quite
got
the
a
way to
general
say it.
theme of course, pestilence and
Rot
different kinds of
consumes.
diseases and sickness and things of that nature. That's generally Nurgle. He's pretty easy to understand as well. And he chunk. Finally, we have the youngest of the Chaos Gods, and that is Slaanesh, also known as the Prince of
Whoa,
Pleasure.
is she
or the God
naked?
of unspeakable excess. Slaanesh is generally referred to with sex.
They said
but
prince.
It's not only sex, it's just that's a good avenue if you want to make stuff. Slaanesh is just the idea of the senses of the body being cranked to not just 11, but more like 17. See, we'll discuss Slaanesh a little bit more when we talk about the Eldar, because they done fucked up. But
I think I have a new favorite god.
It's or whatever.
She has both? Oh, okay.
Just the excess of emotions.
Damn.
And therefore, sex is generally a large part of it. However, it's mostly pain and torture.
Pain and torture,
Lots of pain,
okay.
torture, but sometimes sexually related or drug related. Lots of drugs. Lots of drugs.
Oh, damn.
So
Okay, she likes her drugs.
On everything. Extremes in happiness, extremes in sadness, extremes in pain and sadism and masochism. And of course, that goes along with the sex part of it as well. It's generally referred to with sex because of the color scheme, very purple, lots of exposed genitalia. A lot of their models have like exposed nipples and stuff.
Yeah,
and that is generally
I
the
don't think
theme
I'll
we
goon
go for
over
from the physical side, but
Slaanesh.
it really embodies everything, mainly pain and also the excessive amounts of emotion. So when it comes down to it, you'll find a lot
They're
of them
kind of
have
scaring
things
me
like
now. I'm
spikes
freaked out.
or whips or any kind of BDSM style gear because it is unspeakable excess. The Prince of
I like that they have a
everything
theme.
in excess to the point where it is just sheer frightening. That is Slaanesh in a nutshell. A little bit bizarre and a little hard to describe sometimes.
I'm not saying that. I
But
feel
as
like I'm
we
not saying
talk
the
more
name
about
right.
Dark Eldar
Slaanesh.
later in this video, you'll understand it far, far better and far more than you want to. Now, you might be thinking, why would anyone ever want to join Chaos? They all look horrifying, screwed up, and just frightening things, right? Well, the thing is that, of course, one, your mind is put into the warp and the materium, so you can be easily swayed by chaos demons when they get into your head, especially if you're a psyker.
That's true.
Sometimes regiments of the less mentally strong people, whether they be civilians or, say, low-level guardsmen or conscripts, can be easily swayed by this and become chaos cultists and stuff, and they serve their dark gods and whatever god they personally refer. However, and this might seem strange, chaos in their own right isn't necessarily evil. See, the warp is every manifestation of emotion and being, every soul, everything of existence. This includes all the good things. All the different chaos gods have another side to their coin. Khorne might be death, murder, slaughter, slaughter, but he's also got this weird sense of survival of the fittest.
Oh, like
trial by
necessary
combat, and
evil.
honor.
Oh, that's
Khorne
a
will never
really
lie
nice
to you.
take on it.
Khorne will
It
never
makes it a
stab
little
you
more
in the
like.
back. Khorne isn't about
makes it a lot more dynamic,
conniving
like,
and
gray.
scheming. Khorne is about straight up mono, you versus me, get in the ring, we're gonna murder each other hard right now.
Yeah!
It may not be a good thing at the end of the day, but it is that other side of the coin. Him and Zeech generally don't get along because Zeech is that conniving schemer, but he's also about the idea of hope. Where there is change for your predicament.
Oh,
there's change for
that's
your problem.
nice.
The hope of the
I
galaxy,
really like this.
the ability to bend the world to your will, the idea that your fate is not set in stone, but in reality that you control your own destiny and can control it whenever you want, the changer of ways. That is Zeech. And of course, Zeech and Nurgle hate each other because while Nurgle does represent stagnation, death, and decay, he also represents finality, an ending. The fact that you can be mentally at peace knowing that you will end and how you will end.
I like
fear
that
of the unknown,
Ricky
fear
just
of
sits in
change
the
is
pot.
not present with Nurgle. With Nurgle, everything will rot and die, and that provides that finality, that ability that this is over. We are all the same,
Damn.
and we will all end the same. We know the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to live and
This
die.
still
and
sounds like
rot.
it's like
And
a
with
little
that,
bit scary
includes
still.
peace of
Kind
mind.
of.
Slaanesh is a lot more simple. While they are the excess of emotion, they are also the representation of emotion. Slaanesh embodies happiness. Slaanesh embodies excitement and joy and pleasure, not only in the sense of the physical, you know, bam style of pleasure, but also everything else, like food.
I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that, chat.
And air on your cheek and sunlight, the feeling, emotion and feeling.
All gods
all
in
of that is
40K
also
are blight
represented
on
with
existence?
Slaanesh. So
Really? Wow.
you have to ask, why are they always represented as super evil skulls and spikes on everything and want to murder everybody? I don't really got an answer for you on that one. My assumption is that because mentally humans may think worse thoughts, even if we don't act on them, and therefore they're projected in the warp more. That one's a little bit weird. I don't know. This is me spitballing right now, but I don't know. You need a super bad guy. You already got the Imperium of Man. You need somebody to be a little bit worse than them. So you got demons. Honestly, who
Yay.
cares? I just want to buy like a bird magician. Look at him. So
That
cool.
looks so cool.
So combining all this together, on the tabletop, Chaos Demons are generally very melee-based. They run in, go really hard. You have lots of summoning and conjuring, tons of spells.
Slaanesh
Generally a little bit
represents
frail, but
addiction?
They have special
Oh,
saves
shit.
to make them a little bit stronger.
I
You've got
have
giant
that.
demons and smaller
With
demons.
YouTube
You got
shorts.
hordes of little boys and tons of big guys. Demons are as they seem. Demons. Nurgle is slow. Khorne is super scary in melee. You've got Tzeentch, who are far more into psychers and spellcasting, and then Slaanesh,
I like the color
who's
palette
all
of that
melee, really, really, really fast but squishy, but in lots of hordes of tons of melee and pain damage, of course. So overall, the demons are a huge part of 40K and a massive threat to almost every single faction, with the exception of a couple. However, the big part about demons is also transferred into the other 9 Primarchs we didn't talk about, which are the Chaos Space Marines.
The Chaos Asteries.
So Horse and all of his boys, all of them in the Primarchs, they have all also become Chaos Boys, and they all have their own special Chaos Legions, specializing in so many different things, just like the Adeptus Astartes, the Angels of Death, the regular Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines aren't a whole lot different than the regular Space Marines. They have the same armor, generally the same training and toughness. They just specialize in different kinds of things. And also a lot of the Primarchs have ascended into greater is it greater demons? They're demon Primarchs.
Damn, they leveled up.
Gigantic, horrifying man.
They're
demon
chaotic
hybrids
Star
that
Troopers.
are pretty awesome, if I'm gonna be honest. They look really, really cool. But them and their associated legions they are a part of are all
Look at all
going
them
out there
skulls.
and causing a large ruckus for everyone else. Considering the raw strength and firepower of a legion of Space Marines, imagine that entire legion just converting to chaos and immediately fighting you. It's generally pretty horrifying. There's a lot of them, so I gotta write them down. But you've got
I feel like I
Emperor's
die in this
Children
universe.
with
Everything
Primarch
seems
Fulgrim,
brutal
loyal to
and
Slaanesh.
cruel
These
and
people,
violent.
They are some messed up people. They're just sensory overload, tons of drugs, tons of torture.
Holy
and
crap.
I think Fulgrim is a demon Primarch right now, and oh god,
They're faded in a
terrified
hole.
to see what that man looks like. At least on the tabletop, because the Emperor's Children are not good people. You've got the Iron Warriors, which are kind of like opposite of the Imperial Fists.
The
with
Emperor's
Primarch
Children are the
Perturabo,
best
I believe is
Chaos
his name.
Marines?
They're Chaos Undivided. They just kind of serve chaos in a general aspect instead of choosing one of the 4. But the Iron Warriors are big on the siege and fortification, and they're basically entirely against the Imperial Fists and a major rival. Perturabo, I believe, is also still alive, and I'm also very interested to see what he looks like, because Demon Primarchs are badass. You've got the Night Lords with Primarch Conrad Kurz. Conrad Kurz is dead, which is good because he's a sick fuck. But the Night Lords are generally about terrorizing people and terrorism.
well.
They're generally about fear, and rightly so. You've got the World
Wow, these guys are
Eaters with
horrible.
Primarch Angron,
They're
still
evil.
alive, also excited to see. Angron, if you think you've known an angry person,
I
Angron
really like
is
the design of this
angriest
guy.
son of a bitch you will ever know. Angron removed parts of his brain
name is
that
literally
didn't make him
angry.
angry, so he could be angrier. Engron. Fucker's mad. You've
Holy
got the Death
crap,
Star with
that guy's
Primarch
metal.
Tarian. They actually have their own special codex and their own major army on the tabletop, where Tarian himself is actually one of the models. And look at him.
Whoa.
Look at him.
Wow, that
It's
looks
so
really
cool. Looking. Of course,
Wait, is this like a
Nurgle
real model or
based,
drawing? I can't
obviously.
tell.
So
Is this
very
like
slow but very tame.
Is this
You've
real?
got the Word
Like a
Bearers with
physical
Primarch
3D model?
Lorgar. Lorgar is, I believe, still alive. I don't know what's up with him at the current moment, but the Word Bearers are generally the people who caused all the major problems in the beginning.
Damn, that's
I
so
blame them
cool.
for it.
That's
They're
really
little assholes.
cool.
You got
That's
the
a
Black
cool-ass
Legion
model.
with Primarch Horus. Get fucked, nerd. You've got the Alpha Legion with Primarch Alfarius
Why did
Omegon.
Ricky just bully that poor
Chaos.
guy?
I think. And then finally, you've got the Thousand
The poor
Sons,
guy say as
Primarch
everyone's
Magnus
evil
the
and
Nerd.
cruel in this
The
universe.
Harlequins also have their own book just with the Death Guard. Magnus is also a tabletop model. He looks
Holy
super cool,
shoot.
as you can tell. And they're all super heavily Psyker and kind of Egyptian themed. They look pretty neat. But overall, with all of these Chaos Space Marine factions, you can play as a lot of different ones, but the main ones that you can really work at are standard Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, as well as the Death Guard and Thousand Sons, as they are the most fleshed out, especially on the tabletop at least. See this right here? This is a really good way to describe.
Oh, I like
the
Warhammer
Chaos
quotes.
Space
They're very
Marines.
cool.
What the thick-headed fools with their broken corpse of an emperor fail to understand is that not only can they never defeat us, but they cannot hide or flee or shield themselves from the triumph of chaos. They are finite and we are unbound, undivided. They must not err, or they shall fall to heresy. All who fall join our cause. Every imperial fool who dares to open his eyes is a willing recruit. They strive merely to hold back our fury.
Damn, this
and
whole
might,
universe
and
is
it
all about
consumes
aura,
them.
no
Thus,
kindness.
you can see chaos
Yeah,
is
just all aura.
inevitable. We lurk not only beyond their grasp and at their gates, we lurk within the darkness of their souls, on the tip of their tongues, in their tortured dreams. We are them, but freed from the shackles of ignorance. We are them, grown strong, evolved. We are them, but so much more. As
Holy shit.
hardcore as that quote is,
Damn,
the
that
saddest
goes
part
hard.
is they're mostly right. Chaos is basically unkillable. You could probably get rid of Space Marines, a decent amount, the Chaos Space Marines that is, but every soul that dies goes to the warp. Every Chaos soul will end up back in the warp. And depending on how hard you killed them, they will come
The warp is
back
kind of like a
at some
womb in a
point.
way.
Every demon you banish will return at some point. Chaos
I think.
is unstoppable. The warp is unending. And while maybe there is at some point some way to stop them somehow,
I love the warp womb.
the resources to do so, the requirements to do so are so far beyond the reaches of man and the other races at the current moment that really it's just an unstoppable force that just keeps on coming and is just barely being slowed. Chaos is by far the biggest threat. They are without number, their legions are everywhere, and yeah, they're pretty scary. So, I promise, we're done with humans now. Let's talk about some Xenos.
Pretty scary, this video. The Eldar.
So let's talk about the Eldar,
Xenos?
or also known as the Eldari, which are a super hyper-specialized
Whoa.
and very technologically advanced race of, well, elf people. They were, as well, responsible for the creation of Slaanesh, the newest demon god.
Oh.
How'd they do that?
How did they make that? Yeah.
Debauchery on a world-ending scale. See, back in the day, it was just Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. And the Eldar are very, very ancient, millions of years. These Eldar, however, have a bit of a sensory problem. You know, every kind of pain
Space
or
elves.
feeling that you have is a little bit amplified compared to the normal. However, with Eldar, as their race advanced so excessively, and they became so self-reliant, and everything became so easy, there was no requirement for food production anymore. There was no shortages. Everything was basically done. Everyone was so
They're winning the
comfortable.
war.
And that comfort breeded this weird sedation. And that sedation breeded the requirement for more and more debauchery.
Debauchery!
Debauchery! Debauchery! When everything
What?
you have can be so easily acquired, you will end up down this road of pure debauchery. All of the senses the Eldar had that were so powerful, things like
They had it too
feeling,
good.
happiness, sadness, and just evil and good, all needed to be satisfied and satiated. And the desire to satiate these senses grew more and more with worse and worse debauchery. It started off with things like sex and drugs becoming so much more rampant because these are the first things you generally turn to when requirements for living are so easily accessible.
The elf legs are distracting me.
That made Sander Cohen in BioShock look sane. All right, this is the kind of debauchery it led to. It was constantly satisfying and satiating these sexual and sadistic or masochistic fantasies that only elevated and elevated. And this was species-wide. People started going down darker, more depraved, and more violent paths as time went on.
Are not having a good time.
Some people didn't entirely take to that. Some of the Eldar were looking at this depraved species that they had become and said, no thanks for me, dog, I'm good. And they bailed. These are the craft world Eldar. They left on these giant continent-sized starships called craft worlds. They believed in learning the old ways of the Eldar and pushing away from this depravity and debauchery and going back to their main
I like that there are people who
so
left that
themselves
life
on these giant craft worlds far in the outer reaches of space.
That's so
They even had this thing called the Webway. Remember what we mentioned about warp travel with the
Warhammer
Eldar
art is
way
sick.
safer called a Webway. And the Eldar Webway is actually like a pocket dimension kind of thing. And in that pocket dimension, there were also more horrible, depraved groups and clans that would spend their time in there. And if you imagine the debauchery was bad already, these were debauchery X10. So all of this continued, and it bloated until Slaanesh just burst forth. All that emotion, all that mental, thought processes, I suppose, all of this in such a condensed space. Don't forget, this is all being shot. All their souls
into the warp.
Into the warp. All of this depravity right into the warp. So what happened? Boom. Slaanesh was birthed and killed off 90% of the entire Eldar population.
Wait, so she was literally just born from thoughts, dude. Just so much thoughts made that.
And their actual fleshy bodies devoured by Slaanesh demons. The entirety of the Eldar race was eaten alive and their souls consumed to the Prince of Pleasure. All of them got fucked up. It was so bad that it literally ripped a warp hole
That's how the warp works.
Fabric of the materium called the Eye of Terror.
That's really cool. Wow. Okay, I like that concept a lot.
Gateway portal.
I like the warp.
The materium and the immaterium.
Even though it scares
right next
me.
To Cadia.
Pretty cool. From afar.
It is horrifying.
Not to live in, but to look at.
Slaanesh, also known as She Who Thirsts by the Eldar.
Tuning gone bad.
The entire population.
Holy shit.
Couple. Those in the craft worlds were actually not affected by this as they were so far in the reaches of the galaxy. That crazy craft, that
my goat
Slaanesh only affected the ones in the center. So these craft world Eldar were able to escape, but Slaanesh got their sights on them. Every time an Eldar will die, their soul doesn't just pass into the warp naturally. It goes straight to Slaanesh, craft world or not. What about those people in the web? Well, imagine that giant birth happening, but they were only able to just barely get a grasp onto you. Slaanesh was just barely able to hold on. These people are the Dark Eldar, or also known as the Drukhari. The Eldar population right now is so massively small. It is minuscule compared to any of the other most of the other populations in the universe. The Eldar are consistently having issues trying to get their population up because as their souls are constantly being hungered from Slaanesh, they realize their entire species is doomed. And they understand it very well. Since the time of the fall, our race has been haunted by what we, in our reckless pursuit of hedonistic indulgence, gave birth to. Though our dreams once overturned worlds and quenched suns, we are now but fitful shadows clinging to the edge of existence. All the stars in the sky cannot blot out the hateful glare of the red moon's eye. The birthing place of the great enemy pulses with all the malice of a demon that is streaming,
Holy
casting its
shit.
shadow over all we have ever done.
But these
and
space
all we
elves
ever
made
shall.
this, like,
Every
yeah, they
twisted
made it
strand
hell
of
for
fate
themselves.
And casting of the runes leads me to this time, to this place, and it is clear that the final battle awaits me at the ancient Crone worlds, a conflict the likes of which has not been seen since the Monkai warred amongst themselves and their corpse of a seer fell to his traitorous son. Is coming, and all my steps lead towards it, no matter that I walk other paths. I see the stars stained red with the blood of the
Holy.
Monkai, and though their wars do not concern me, I would gladly let them destroy one another. I know that to avoid this fight is to condemn my race to inevitable doom, and though all I see is darkness, I know that I will not flinch from my destiny. And now let's talk about cute plastic models.
Damn.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
The
Sorry,
first playable race
wait.
we have for the Eldar are
Holy
the
crap,
Eldar
I'm sorry.
and living in those craftable starships I mentioned earlier. And each
I
of them
feel a
have their
little
own
bad
kind
for
of
the
craft
elves a
world
little bit. I don't
into
know
the
why,
space
the space
they live in.
elves.
Each
Like,
craft
they had
world
it all.
is in itself
And
its
then-
own special
and then it
kind
went to
of
hell.
route. And the Eldar themselves are very fast and rely a lot on trickery. They are squishy, a bit weak, but they're very in tune as psychers. Tons of psychers across the entire Eldar population, and their weaponry and abilities are fast and extremely hard-hitting, but of course rather fragile. Understanding an Eldar's brain is an exercise in futility. They are all over the place in confusion.
I
and
like how this
trickery
world was kind of
on a whole
balanced. Like, you know, if
galactic
you're like
scale.
super strong
They
and
fight
fast, you know,
weird,
you'll be
they
weak.
think weirder, and
But,
Eldar
you know,
in their own right
There's other
really
creatures
rely
that are
on
like
this to keep
slow
their
and
species
like
alive.
yeah,
They
that
need
that
to think
you know
about
what I mean.
deception and the strangeness of what they do if they truly want to not be immediately murdered and slaughtered wholesale thanks to their entirely small population. However, I must say that it seems like their population is getting slightly better. These craft worlds hold millions upon millions of people, and as they continually, you know, reproduce and have their craft worlds expand, losing a few people in battle, while hurts a lot, they aren't really losing what's extremely precious to them. It's not like every single death means the death of their species. It seems like they're kind of on the upturn a little bit. They're still a doomed race being sucked into Slaanesh every time someone dies, but they are definitely doing a little bit better than they were before. Eldar are fast, cunning, and what they
little bit of
don't
hope.
make up for in tankiness, they make up for in extremely
Do
advanced
you guys think I can
weaponry.
fix
They also
Slaanesh?
call humans
Can I-
Monkai, which
I can
mentioned
fix
earlier.
her.
That is a derogatory slur for humans in the Warhammer world.
What?
Why is it called Monkai? Well, it's because you can't,
Oh.
in your game, call people monkeys. On the tabletop, exactly what I said. Not very tanky.
Okay, well,
generally pretty squishy.
they
hit
have a
like
slur for
trucks
humanity.
And move at Mach 5. Fast.
I wasn't
hit
guessing
hard,
that anymore.
Die fast. Exactly how it sounds.
You
They've been good
cannot
for a very
fix her.
long
Okay,
time,
okay.
too. We bring only death and leave only carry on. It is a message even a human can understand. Eldar.
Damn.
Drukhari. Let's talk about the Dark Eldar.
On today's episode of How Fucked Up is Fucked Up,
Dark Eldar.
that's fucked up.
So those people I mentioned in the
Does
web
it get more fucked up?
super deranged.
It's already
cults,
pretty
the
fucked.
Depraved people of the Eldar. In the webway, they didn't quite get a hold onto them. Slaanesh like has them, but it has them on like by the pinky finger. And they're slowly being consumed by Slaanesh, but they found out they can stave her off by doing Slaanesh things. The Dark Eldar are by far
Holy shit. They
the
cracked the
worst,
code.
most horrifying, disgusting, depraved, and brutal race in all of Warhammer 40k.
Really?
These are
Because I've
entirely
heard pretty like
people
violent
whose whole
things.
purpose to save their species from extinction, to go into planets, raid them, and take as many slaves as they possibly can to torture them for 1, 5, 10, 20, a million years, because that torture will keep them from dying. They look very BDSM. They
Damn.
definitely have a lot more spiky
That's
bits, and they have a lot more of that
brutal.
kind of leathery black
That's
look.
fucked up.
But let's say you are an upstanding Imperial citizen, living life on a regular planet. You get invaded by the Necrons. The Necrons will shoot you with a deatomizer, and you will be destroyed in a millisecond, and that's it. Not the worst way to go. You are invaded by Chaos Marines or something.
Yeah, not
you take
bad.
a bolter shot to the head or a chain sword across your stomach, and you get cut in half. Painful, but not the worst.
Okay.
The Orks arrive. They beat you to death.
That's
Hurts,
crazy.
but, whatever. Tyranids, they eat you alive. Pretty rough. The Dark Eldar. This is going to get a little graphic. I
Yeah,
apologize.
they'll kill you in
pray
brutal
you
ways,
die.
but it's not that bad.
Don't. You are instead taken as a human slave. Your life will be endless work and agony, 24/7. They will make sure you can't not die, as your pain satisfies them. They will hook you up to all manner of torture devices. They will inject pain-based stimuli drugs directly into your nervous system. They will slowly run razor blades across your skin. They will fillet you and pull out your teeth and your fingernails one by one.
What is wrong with
They'll
these
remove your
bitches?
appendage
What?
And your skin, and wait for it to grow back so they can do it again. They will murder and torture and use the R word. It rhymes with grape. Your entire family in front of you, and do the exact same thing to them. You yourself will also be rhymes with grape anywhere and everywhere possible, and this will occur for 20 years until you are no longer satisfying to them. And then you will be contorted, crushed, and twisted into some form of trophy, a fleshy trophy, or a ring, or a couch, or a TV stand, or perhaps a wonderful hat. While you
So
are,
you
of
better
course,
hope
still
something
alive
else invades
and
your
breathing.
planet. That's what
And
I'm
you will
hearing.
become a moaning, fleshy trophy.
Yeah, I think I want to
for
become just like a
eternity.
bunch of atoms. I want to be
And
shot
that is
into
what
atoms.
happens when you are taken by the Dark Eldar. They are the most
Damn!
depraved, most
These guys are
horrifying race
evil,
in
dude.
all
They're
40K.
fucked.
They look the part, and they do it so they all don't die. They are literally forced to do this, because if they
Damn.
don't, Slaanesh's grip will get harder, and they will have their souls pulled away.
Okay.
So long as they keep doing
Survival, I
this, Slaanesh
guess.
is like, you're doing good, man. You're doing solid. You keep that shit up, you elf-eared bastards. That's the Dark Eldar. That's the Drukhari. They are horrible. On the tabletop,
Yeah, that's
they're
pretty fucked.
actually kind of like Eldar, but more extreme. They are even squishier than the Eldar, but they hit generally even harder. Fast attacks, skirmishers, really quick, speedy, get around them, do a lot of damage.
If
get
they
away kind of
evade
stuff.
your
That's
planet,
mostly Dark
chat,
Eldar.
is the
Look up the
technique to
definition
end
of
your
grim
life
dark in
before
the
they
dictionary.
take
You'll
you?
find a picture of the
That
Dark
might just
Eldar.
be the meta.
And Sev from Republic Commando. A quote from Mr. Vecht. We are the lords of despair, masters of terror. Dread and agony are our meat and wine, and they are
Damn.
plentiful indeed.
Well,
Dark Eldar.
what lovely people.
Some of the
What
Harlequins.
kind people.
Clowns.
That's official protocol in the lore?
The Harlequins are a bizarre race.
Whoa, I actually like
They're
the designs a
demonic
lot.
Clown performers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like
They're
the
a weird
like the
mix
circus
of
clown
Sandra Cohen
theme.
from BioShock and Jin from League of Legends, but in a more clown theme. They're artists of death and perfecters of their craft. They do not belong to Craft World.
Well,
or
I
the
like
Drukhari
this-
people.
I like
They
this
guard
theme.
something called the Black Library, which is this giant tome of never-ending knowledge deep in the heart of the Eldar
Those
webway,
pants are distracting
and
me.
also guarded by their god named Kegarok, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is the laughing god, but it's the Eldar's laughing god, and these are the Harlequins, the Harlequin clowns. These are Eldar
Hey!
clowns.
Who's-
Okay, so
who's
imagine
called
the
the
things that
laughing
an
god?
Eldar,
I'm the laughing
these
god.
depraved individuals would find funny, and this is the god of that. It's a horror clown. These are gods of horror for
Okay.
us normal people. For them, they're like, oh, it's so funny. They're all dying horribly. Honk, honk. They're very bizarre and difficult
Stop!
to describe.
Oh,
they've
no.
escaped the ruinous powers of Slaanesh somehow.
Damn, they're evil, but it's
their
just
main
like
thing is guarding
Chuck
that
is
Black
comparing my
Library, and
laugh to a
Harlequins
clown
just-
nose, and I can't take it
They're
seriously.
demon clown performers. They're barely any models on the tabletop. They're
Damn, I like their aesthetic a lot though.
They're demon clowns.
Demon
I'm not
clowns.
Sure. I got
All
a quote.
right.
It is too easy
Yay,
for Eldar
quotes.
to embrace the obscene virtues of chaos, for Slaanesh is nothing more than a manifestation of the Eldar mind in its most wild and unconstrained form. Human morality is meaningless to the Eldar.
Damn,
And to
okay.
the dark side of the Eldar mind, all life is to be expended at a whim. Cruelty
For
and
fun?
generosity are but the impulse of a moment. Beauty and sensuality
So we kill
are
for fun.
virtues that can be expressed in bloodshed just as easily as in song. To an unfettered Eldar mind, there is neither sanity nor madness, but merely a wave of perfect existence fulfilled by its own savage momentum. They're very strange. The Harlequins, Drukhari, Eldar, they are an anomaly that make humans seem completely easy to understand in comparison. They range from rekindling their civilization to horrifying murder.
Oh, they kill
also
for art. The art
They're
is
all
killing.
over the place,
Okay.
But honestly, they
I get it,
represent
I get
quite
it.
well and are rather interesting, especially with the whole Slaanesh murdering everyone bit. So, yeah, Eldar. Now, bugs.
Ma, they following me, Ma.
Bugs!
Following me.
Hell yeah.
These
I
are
hate
bugs.
bugs. They scare me.
The Tyranids. Now, you want to talk
The
something a little more
Tyranids?
fun, a little more simple than all this crazy Eldar shenanigans? Let's talk the Tyranids. They're bugs. Do they look like Zerg? Hell yeah, they look like Zerg. You want to know why they look like Zerg? Because they were actually supposed to be what Zerg were. Apparently, StarCraft was supposed to be a 40k game in the beginning, hence why they look so much like Eldar, Zerg, and the Imperium of Man. Like, kind of Space Marine-y.
The mouth?
Those Marines, huh? They look a little bit Space Marine-y to me. Maybe. I don't know. You really fucked up on that one, Games Workshop, didn't ya? Tyranids are
The
a
bugs are
giant
not evil.
infestation
Damn.
of unfathomable proportions. These are giant,
sure?
extremely bio-advanced hive mind organisms that are basically all
hive
about
mind?
absorbing as much biomass as they possibly can to evolve and mutate to be
Oh.
extremely potent and powerful and kill and eat anything in their path. They are probably the least evil faction in all
Okay,
40K,
all right,
because
I'll
all
take
they
it,
want
yeah.
to do is eat shit. They want to
Yeah.
nom the entire galaxy. They hangry.
They're just
and
eating.
we food.
Okay,
Also,
it's not
this
personal.
Tyranid hive mind has a presence in the warp. In fact, Tyranids in their own right have a massive
That's
presence
chill.
in the warp.
You know,
they have a thing
sometimes you just gotta
called the
eat.
shadow in the warp specifically, where when they are coming in to invade a planet, they have this weird ability to kind of cut off the warp on all the psychers on that planet. And how do you get help across the stars? Well, you need the warp, because you need that for interstellar travel. So with people unable to call for help from the Tyranids, these are just easy pickings. And an entire giant Tyranid hive fleet comes out of orbit and just will massacre, absorbing
That's pretty
all
brutal
that
still.
biomass and turning them,
Despite
and all
them
of their
not-
other
They're
Tyranids
actually, yeah,
into
not that
even
evil
more
compared to everything else.
advanced monsters. They come in so many varieties too, all based on what is important.
That's actually really
Tiny little
cool
ripper
that this is
swarms
like
for
a thing.
Scouting and having little dudes eat people up, to the Hormigons, Termagants, and Genestealers.
They are like
all the
ants.
way to the Hive Guard and the Exocrines and the Swarm Lord, to Hive Tyrants and their giant battle fleets.
Holy
and
shit.
even something as crazy
They have a
as
battle
the
bug.
Hierophant Biotype.
Whoa,
The Tyranids
that
come in
looks
all
sick.
forms and sizes
A
depending on what they
Biotitan.
require. They are extremely good at anti-biological weaponry. There is no way you can plague them or blight them. They have extremely strong armor, carapaces and such. Tyranids are nigh perfect organisms.
Yeah, I
and
think it'll
are
still be
pretty
scary to
spooky
be
when
murdered
it
by
comes
these
down
big-ass
to
bugs.
How they handle all of their genetic material. Keep feeding them, they'll keep evolving. They keep on creating new horrifying organisms
shit.
to spread across the galaxy. And you want to know what the most terrifying part of the Tyranids is? We might be surrounded. There have been like around 6 or 7 Tyranid hive fleets.
What?
Behemoth, Kronos, all these different kinds of hive fleets, and they've all arrived in the galaxy from different points. Different sections of the Milky Way galaxy have had different Tyranids come through. And that is horrifying, because as far as we know, we could just be surrounded on all sides by Tyranids. The only reason you may not hear a whole lot about Tyranids is because it's a little bit hard to have a bunch of story off of one hive mind genocidal monsters. All these giant
I think this
bugs
universe is
swarming in,
cooked.
killing and
Maybe
eating
the
everybody
bugs
and
shooting
evolving.
everything.
Well, I mean, as cool as there are some cool characters, the Swarm Lord, Old One Eye, you can't really have a whole bunch of major character-based stories around them. As awesome as
Damn.
they are, they're simple. They want to eat you. They want to eat you and
I like
absorb
the
your
simplicity
biomass.
of
They
it.
are simple bugs. If you want something a little more complex, talk Genestealer Cults.
I can have all the pot I want. I get around faster than
Genestealer
walking,
Cults?
and wherever I need a seat,
I can just sit on my balls.
Genestealer cults are a special brand
Where does he get these
tyranid
quotes
that can
from?
slowly infect themselves into different kinds of society. And by infecting them, they can rise up to where they all pray and believe in these regular humans, pray and believe into their Tyranid hive mind gods. And these brood lords and I think they're called patriarchs all can turn an entire world all based into Genestealers. And these are called Genestealer cults. An entire hive world of the Imperium can be turned into nothing but servants of the Tyranid masters just by infecting them and screwing with their genetic code a little bit.
Whoa!
Mad Max look, which is really neat. They are definitely one of the bigger threats to the Imperium besides...
They're like
chaos.
high-tech
I keep
zombies
saying
a little
biggest threat
bit,
to the
right?
Imperium. They're up there, though, because you, dingus, stepped on a bug in middle school. Asshole. There is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With each decade, it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. This horror, this abomination, has thought and purpose that functions on an unimaginable galactic scale. And all we can do is to try to stop the swarms of bioengineered monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct.
I think everything in this world is just scary.
We have given the horror a name to salvage our fears. We call it the Tyranid
But it's
race.
cool from afar.
But if it is aware of us, it must know us as nothing but prey. Tyranids, they're cool. But are they as cool as the Orks?
Every screen's gone.
The Orks!
That means I'm super fast.
Orks, 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 orks. I fucking love orks. So, yes, the green monsters, the green tide, the green skins. These orks, they are in fact a race in 40k. The orks are as exactly
Orks.
They have archaic weapons, they're big boys, they have axes, and they have got big old teeth, and they want to kill everything, and there are so many of them. The only reason they haven't taken over the entire galaxy is they can't stop murdering each other. Orks are so cool. Orks don't have philosophy. Orks don't have existential crisis. What matters is who's the biggest ork. You listen to that guy because he's the biggest ork.
They're
He's
aura
big
farming.
Big ork knows best. You win through the power of imagination.
I like them already.
Throughout the galaxy, the ork is the hardest to comprehend. They wage war with machines that should not work, care little for strategic gains, and are just as likely to slaughter each other as the enemy. How does
I feel
one
like they would
battle
live
an
in
enemy
Florida.
defies all logic. As an ork, you're enjoying life. You're enjoying the life you're given. Your whole life is
they're just living.
to get up and beat each other to death because you can. The biggest ork is the man who understands everything. He is the boss. And orks have this really weird, like, big, dumb, stereotype British accent, which is just hilarious to me. Those are orks. You fight. You like to fight. Your whole purpose is to fight. You wage war because you want to wage war. You got your boss over there, and you better listen to the boss, because if you don't listen to the boss, the boss will squish you and make you an example for the other orks. And then you can't fight because ork dead. And ork dead can't fight because ork dead. Orks. They scrap together machines out of parts that don't make any sense, and because they believe, they have the mental imagination that that machine will run, it'll run. If that machine's out of gas, you're driving that machine with your fellow orks, and the biggest ork is behind the wheel, and you run out of gas, some ork behind you is like, oh, Zog, we're out of gas. And the big ork is like, no, we're not. I filled the fucking gas tank up earlier. And all the other orks are like, oh yeah, you did do that. And then you turn the fucking mech back on, and it works again. Does it have gas?
What?
Probably not.
I fucking love them.
The power of imagination. They paint things red because it makes them think they goes faster. They paint things purple because it's the sneakiest color. You want to know why? You ever seen a purple ork? Didn't fucking think so. Orks are also like ancient as hell. They're back in the Eldari time frame.
Well, these guys are lit.
Orks, and they were much larger and scarier.
I want to hang out with these guys.
Now they're just orks.
From afar.
Big,
I don't want to
dumb,
be
snack
murdered
things,
and killed, but
they're pretty spooky. They're not very well armored, but they hit really hard, and it's called the Green Tide because there are
the meanest.
Many orks. There are about as many orks as there are Tyranids.
They are pretty funny.
Who knows? But they keep on, murdering each other, so it's not too bad of an issue. Orks are entirely comic relief. Their stuff is slapped together that makes no sense. Their vehicles don't work the way they're supposed to, but they work because they think it works, because they imagine that it works. Orks care only about who is the biggest orc, and they will follow the biggest orc. And then if they want to be the biggest orc, they'll challenge the biggest orc. And then when they go and they issue a wa is just war in orc, they murder everybody and everything in this giant tide of green orcs who are just excited to be hitting something. They don't care that they're hitting Eldar or the Imperium or Tau or anyone in between. They're just so they get to beat shit up.
They're having a great time. I think they live the best life.
Total coin flip, and they're really fun. I have never met a salty orc player. I have never met someone who plays orcs and is ever just a bad guy or that guy. Orc players have this kind of fun to them because when you play them, you are completely submitting yourself to RNG. So here's the thing. Guardsmen, Imperial Guardsmen, when they shoot, they roll a dice, and on a 4 up, they'll hit their target. They have a 50% chance. Space Marines,
I like the orcs because they seem very happy.
Because they're well trained. Adeptus Custodians, they hit on 2s because they're just super well trained. Orcs, they hit on a 5 or higher. But if they roll a 6, they get to make another shot with anything, from the dinkiest pistol to the biggest rocket launcher. It doesn't matter. Half of their stuff will blow up on a whim. One of their medics, if you roll a 1 to heal someone, you fuck up your surgery and you just kill an orc. They're so wacky and silly. But the thing is if you roll well, you roll high, and you keep rolling high, you are
green
going to
gamble, baby.
People. And if you don't, you lose.
I love
That's
gambling.
what you get when you play orcs. That's what happens when you play orc. It's a coin flip, which is why you can't be a salty bitch when you play orcs, because
you don't know what's gonna happen.
It's just a roll of the dice. You're playing a dice game. But if
all
you're
in on green,
and you want to be stupid and you want to be silly, you're gonna play some damn orcs. But on the opposite side of the fun part of this, let's talk about the Necrons. The Necrons are spooky, scary skeletons and very grimdark again.
Yeah, they look scary. Can we go back to the orcs?
Back in the day, they were just undead Egyptian space terminators, and they still look that way, but now they actually have a story. So way back in the day, you had the Necron tier. Kind of see.
Yeah, they look like mecha skeletons.
Eldar, Krork, Ork,
They're
Necron,
spooky.
Necron tier. So the Necron tier were this race of generally kind of shitty people. Not because they were personally shitty, but because their lives were awful. They were ill-fated to a horrible existence of like radiation and a terrible planet they lived on, and everything just really sucked. Being a Necron tier was just really depressing.
Damn.
They really were looking for immortality. They were extremely reliant on the hope that they would eventually find the key to living forever and just stave off this horrible nature that they were thrust upon them, and therefore they could become the most dominant race in the galaxy. And they found this group.
They had
They're
big
called
dreams.
The Old Ones. Imagine them kind of like the Forerunners in Halo or the Xel'Naga in StarCraft, right? These Old Ones were these strong, pretty much omnipotent beings, and they, of course, knew the key to immortality. So the Necrons went to them and said, please, show us your ways. And the Old Ones said, piss off. Not really, they were a lot more humble about it, but they did not want to share their secret of immortality with the Necrons.
Damn.
The Necrons, of course, took this very well and waged war with them. Kind of under this
as you would.
banner.
As
the
you
Necrons
would.
in different dynasties didn't really like each other. But under this one man, the Silent King, he thought the best way to unite
That's
his
such a
race
cool title,
was
the
to do
Silent
this giant
King.
war with the Old Ones out of spite for them
Yeah,
keeping
fuck the Old Ones.
secret of
Let's-
immortality to them. This was known as
They're
the
gatekeeping.
War in Heaven, and this is actually like a multi-stage
Oh, that's a cool
war.
title,
Because
War in
during
Heaven.
This War in Heaven, they discovered the Star Gods, a whole new race of people known as the Catan, or the Catan. These Star Gods were also very much like Old Ones, almost omnipotent beings, and they too had the key to immortality. And so the Necrons went to them and said, hey, can you help us fight off the Old Ones? Can you help us kill these Old Ones?
Oh,
the
they're making an
Catan.
alliance.
The Catan said yes, and in fact, we can help provide you with the immortality you so desperately seek. So the Silent King of the Necrons decided to make a pact with the C'tan to allow them to accept this generous gift of immortality upon them. But this, of course, had been a horrendous trap, and the Necrons were dragged in chains to this biotransference where their flesh was stripped from them, replaced with nothing but a metal hollow shell, as their souls were ripped from their body and fed to the C'tan. And the C'tan fattened up. They got chonked of the Necrons. As this was their plan all along, they consumed the flesh and souls of the Necron tier and turned them all into unwilling robotic slaves just to serve their will. And then, with their newfounded Necron army, they pointed their guns at the old ones, and the C'tan continued their domination of the stars and their genocide, complete and full genocide of these old ones. The old ones did their best to stave it off. They even created other races, the Eldari, and
the old ones just don't exist anymore then?
The horrifying Necron army and the C'tan above them. But there was absolutely no possible chance for them. And the old ones were absolutely extinguished across the galaxy. Their entire race completely removed.
Let that be a lesson, chat. Don't gatekeep.
However, during all this, the C'tan, so just infatuated with their victory, started fighting each other for fun, for sport, and for small differences. Doesn't matter. The C'tan, with these overpowered people, they're going to eventually hit each other at some point. And as they began just menially fighting each other, the Eldari and the Orks actually started pushing on the C'tan's borders a little bit, giving them a little bit of a run for their money. And as this continued, this is when the Silent King, who retained his consciousness, decided to leap into action and start a full-scale revolt against their C'tan masters. And this revolt was
that's so cool.
As the entire Necron army was surged.
He waited for the right time.
Destroy these star gods. They were able to, just after suffering horrendous losses, were able to turn the tide of the war. And they took these C'tan and they blasted them. Because as these star gods are unkillable, they were able to break them into thousands of shards and entrap them in giant stasis vaults to now actually be slaves to the Necrons. And with the Necrons having the entirety of their old gods enslaved,
they turned the tables.
They realized that soon their race was about to be attacked by the overcoming new races, the Eldari and the Orks. And so what they did is they retreated into giant stasis tombs in order to preserve their energy and their strength for when one day they would be reawakened and they would be able to rule the galaxy that was rightfully theirs. And then some dingus Adeptus Mechanicus guy diddled with a green console, and now the Necrons are back and they see all these primitive races on their lawns and they think, get the fuck off of it. The Necrons are back, super advanced, and they are here to reclaim the galaxy that they so rightfully believe is theirs. Now, at tabletop, they're a lot like that. Tons of undead Egyptian skeleton robots.
That's really cool.
That when they die,
that's really cool.
Right back up because they keep on reanimating. Hard to kill. Tons of crazy stuff. You can use the C'tan themselves as units to fight with. It's pretty cool. The Necrons are one of the three major events in 40k. The Horus Heresy, the Fall of the Eldar, and the Awakening of the Necrons are all pretty substantial events. And the Necrons themselves are pretty dang cool as well. Here's a good quote from a wonderful Dawn of War game. Lucky creatures, as long last you have found the tranquility of death. I was like you once, clinging to life and blind to the truth. When I uncovered the truth, I too shuddered and paled with fear. Deep in these catacombs,
they use their captors like Pokemon balls, dude.
Slumbered for eons while the living grew like weed. My Lord knew this day would come. He had plans for us all. We would purge this world once more. So come, poor victims of life. We will grant you tranquility in these crypts. Kronos will be a tomb world once more. Necrons are also pretty smug. Trazen the Infinite especially. A little dickhead. But speaking of dickheads, last race, let's talk the Tau.
Oh, we're on the last one? That was my fast!
The exact formation of the Tau Empire is not entirely understood. However, a long time ago, many thousands of years ago, the Tau in the 40k world, that is. Some Imperial
Wait, he had
navigation
anime girl
vessels
legs.
were going around to different areas. And they
Sorry,
saw
that was very
primitive
important for
race,
me to point out.
blue people smacking each other with sticks and stones. They thought, nah, dumb Xenos race, who gives a shit, and they bailed. Then this giant warp storm occurred right in that major area, unable to be breached. Then, once that warp storm 6,000 years later subsided, hello, those little sticks. Well, they decided to actually have no war of any kind and all just unite together under one flag of the Tau Empire. And now they have gigantic starships and Gundam robots and lasers and railguns. And they are here to ruin your day for the greater good. That is generally the Tau Empire. They have this kind of feeling of this homogenous group. All species can go underneath the banner of the greater good. The greater good is their idea of the fundamental increase and help of all. In fact, they are most likely the most like the Covenant in Halo, where they have the overarching prophets, being the ethereals, who are actually kind of dicks and like to pull at strings a little bit, but then you have all these different races directly underneath them, and they all work together in this big group as this large, foreboding race that tries to spread their weirdly pseudo-religious influence across the galaxy. The alien is not intrinsically evil. Do not hate him. Pity him, his ignorance. Seek to understand his differences and equate him with his inadequacies. Only then will he accept his place in the greater good. That is generally the Tau.
Wow.
And if you're kind of wondering like what their mainly
powerful
shtick
quote.
is, well, they're all about big robots and mechs. They have laser rifles and rail guns. They got giant mechs with tons of missile pods and heavy rail rifles and rail guns and burst cannons.
Holy
and
shit,
ion
these guys are
accelerators and
badass.
void shields
Badass
and all this
mechas,
stuff.
dude.
And that is generally what the Tau's all about. But you're probably thinking, Bricky, this doesn't sound that evil. This doesn't sound very grim, dark Warhammer.
Yeah.
And you'd be right. The Tau Empire really don't have that much of a horrifying, grim, dark style like everybody else. They're much more younger, new age thing. In fact, they're probably a lot less evil and a lot even better than they are now back in the day, because they liked having like that good guy faction. But a lot of us who really like the dark, depressing style of Warhammer,
the evil
don't really
shit.
like it that much. So, see, the Tau get a lot of hate, and a lot of that
Really?
hate isn't necessarily unjustified. It's mainly from a tabletop perspective, but as you can see from all the visuals I've shown you recently, they don't really fit in the 40k universe very well. They lack that super dark, dramatic, kind of high gothic.
Oh, this is the
level
youngest
Imperium
race.
has. They don't have
They
the
just spawned
weird
in.
kind of like grungy stuff that Chaos or say the Orks do, and the Necrons and the Eldar have their own specific style as well. The Tau really do look like something out of Gundam, and while it isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does definitely not fit too well. There's that. There's also the tabletop problem. In tabletop, Tau are horrible at melee combat, but exceptionally good at range combat. So they blast everyone from really, really far away, and they have a million rules to make it so that it's nearly impossible for you to get into melee combat. So it basically just forces you to bottleneck the game into one specific gameplay style, which is gun to gun. And if you're doing gun to gun, they're going to win every time, because they're the Tau, and the Tau are really damn good at shooting. So it's one of those things that make the Tau generally rather hated, and a lot of different reasons for that, both from style and such.
Yeah,
But
a lot
this
of
is
chat
actually
is
one of the
saying
things
it's
I
like
wanted to
hard
end
and annoying to
this
fight
video
against
with,
in play.
is that the Tau, while they have their issues, you should not be discouraged from playing them. I'll make plenty of Tau weeaboo jokes, of course I will, but it's all generally in good fun. Anyone who legitimately doesn't want you to play a faction is an idiot, and you shouldn't be giving them the time of day. You pick what you think is cool and what you like. In Warhammer, especially now, factions get better and they get worse. They grow and then they fall. You should only be playing what you think is cool. You like the look, you like the models.
I like the
If
Orks.
you're
I
talking
think they're my
tabletop,
favorite.
That is what you should be going for
So
every
far from
time.
this
It's what
video.
you think is badass, because things change all the time. But the universe of Warhammer
I wanna
has
be an
so
orc.
much going for it. Every faction has something interesting. Every character has a story, and there's a million stories to be told. The universe is vast and exciting, and while it is dark, depressing, and horrible, that is the damn charm. And And out of everything I've told you in these 2 videos, if anything you could take away is the reason why so many of us are so into this series and why we like it so much. Because with so much variety, such an expansive universe, and so much that can be done, you can find yourself having a pretty great time. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Thank you for the video. That was a wonderful, wonderful video. Holy crap! An hour went by so fast again. Yeah, check out Ricky. Check out Ricky.
In which I was wearing all of my merch, but underneath this because
Oh.
I had to wear this so it wasn't black or white for the green screen, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. If you'd like to see merch, it is in the description. Also, if you'd like to support me on my Patreon page,
Yeah, support.
Ricky for more videos like this, then that would also be wonderful. So Twitch, merch, Patreon, anything if you want to support, that would be fantastic. I'd appreciate it. If not, I'm just stoked you got all the way to the end of the video.
Like, comment, and subscribe, guys.
So we're going to be having some more content like this out in the future. Thank you so much for sticking around this long and being with me through this pretty rough time. That's, I think, all I got. Also, before I go, let me leave you with my favorite Warhammer quote. He who scoffs at the power of the las gun has never ran through a field of 1,000 of them. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for making the video. Wow, that was really, really fun. Holy shit. Okay. Alright, chat. Thank you guys so much for watching that with me. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Wow, I learned a lot more about Warhammer. I'm looking forward to, I really want to watch the timeline coming up after. I want to finish part 3 so I can finish his little trilogy he has here. And then I want to watch the timeline because I'm getting, like, right now I feel like I'm getting, like, a lot of stories and learning a lot about, like, you know, like, the lore of different factions and, like, what they are and who they are. But I kind of want to see where this all, like, lines up in a timeline. So I think once we finish this series, I think I probably want to watch that one. But that was really, really enjoyable, though. Thank you, chat, so much for watching that with me. Thank you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Wah! We're not ending yet, though. I'm gonna yap a bit, but I tried to do a little outro. So if my editors wanna make a video out of this, they have a nice ending point. The timeline by Trazin is great. Trazin. Oh, I don't think I heard of Trazin before. I'm not sure. I haven't looked up a timeline yet. Right now I only have like these 3 videos by Bricky that are currently in my my like Discord list I have. Orks and Sister Battles are my favorite. Yeah, I like Purple Nurgle too. Sorry, I don't. Their name is just Nurgle, but I like Nurgle too. I think you know, Nurgle has a special place in my heart as God of Rot. I also like the Harlequins too. Did I pronounce that right? The Harlequins, like the clown ones. They're scary, but clowns have a soft spot in my heart. The great thing about Ricky's Party Keep is that each video gets better and better. Yeah, again, I said this before, but he does a really good job, like, you know, making it entertaining, especially to, like, kind of, like, new people getting into this, or even, like, casual people. Like, as someone that came in knowing, like, nothing at all about Warhammer, he does an amazing job keeping me entertained. So, yeah, that was really fun watching, and I hope you guys had fun, too, watching with me. And thank you for, thank you so much for yapping with me in chat. I was reading your guys' comments while watching the video, and you guys had some, fun comments to add in, and, yeah, he does a timeline video. Oh, does he? Okay. The setting needs a good size in Tyranids, because, I think the race that scares me the most is the one that, like, freaking tortures you for 20 fucking years before they fucking make you into a fucking trophy. Like, what the fuck? That was the one that, like, oh, I was feeling, like, my stomach squeeze. I was like, eh. That was really brutal, yeah. Yeah, the dark, yeah, they're nasty. Yeah, the Dark Eldar, yeah. The meta with them is just to end your life before they get you. Yeah, they're extremely fucked up. Yeah, I think so far out of everything I learned about, there is one now I'm like, whoa, about. Anyways, I was still, I still want to fuck Sisters of Battles though, but I like the god of chaos, the Slaanesh. Am I saying that right? Slaanesh. I like the concept, and I do think the design looks hot, at least the fan art. but they like, as I'm reading the lore, I'm like, damn, she's kind of uncomfortable. She kind of scares my ass a bit, so not that down bad. I'm not gooning, chat. I'm too scared to goon. I need to rebuild your Space Marine army. You haven't been locked in 40k much since after the 5th edition. Oh, I was reading, I think someone mentioned in the comments that you guys have to, like, you know, paint all your models and stuff. That's super freaking cool. Like, wow, that's really talented to be able to, like, paint 3D models. That's, like, I think that's really, really impressive. I have, I believe it was, like Jen in the Discord server, he shares a lot of like his Warhammer paintings in the art server, and I think they look really cool. So matter of respect for those of you guys that, you know, do that and learn to do that and stuff. But yeah. I needed your laugh today. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, Zeb. I'm glad I was able to give you guys a fun time. Painting is really fun, really calming. Yeah, I don't think I'd get into like kind of painting like that though. I'm not really like great with like physical art. But I can imagine it would be like therapeutic. So yeah, we assemble and paint our own models. Yeah, that's really freaking cool, Alexander. Super cool. Painting is half the fun. That's great. You guys are like artists. Like actually, you guys are artists. That's wonderful. But yeah. Alright, chat. That's gonna be it for me today, though. We're just watching one video today because I had to prepare for a collab today. Really quickly though, chat. If it's okay, let me go ahead and make my waiting room with you guys. Where's my waiting room? Oh, sorry, wrong fucking overlay. Let me make my waiting room, and I'm gonna raid you guys into that if you guys wanna wait for my next stream. Of course, no pressure to stick around though. But yeah, today is the 1 month anniversary of me debuting with my agency, so we're gonna just do a small celebration. We're making drugs on stream. We're playing Schedule 1 today, so if you guys wanna stick around for that, we also have a present to show you guys towards the end of it. As well, chat, I did get a super chat. Let me thank you. Thank you so much, Sly Blue Demon, for the $5 super chat. Daka. It's a tip for you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry I couldn't thank you at the moment. I didn't want to interrupt the video or anything because I was like invested in what Bricky had to say. Chat, can I say something? I've been getting comments on like my Warhammer videos saying I bricked up, and I think it's really funny. It's stupid, okay, but it's really funny. I was like, oh, whoa, this is like, that's such a, like, this is this guy's name, and we're using it like that, like. Thanks for the stream, Lottie. Thank you guys for watching, I see. Thank you. Party buzzer, jump scare, love it, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for thank you guys so much for like helping me watching these videos with me and explaining things to me when I kind of get confused and stuff. As of course, as you guys know, I'm still new to all this stuff, so I appreciate you guys being patient with me, like when I get lore wrong or I pronounce things wrong and stuff. Cause can I be honest, chat? I got a little bit scared. I was like, oh, I'm scared. Like, what if everyone jumps me because I don't know what's going on? But I don't know. The Warhammer community is actually super sweet, super sweet, and like willing to like be involving, and it's really nice. But yeah, the proper way to use Bricky's name. Bricky uses his own name like that. That's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's actually really wholesome. It's really, really sweet, so. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Alright, let me go ahead and schedule my stream really quick, before I forget. But I want to schedule it right now so I can raid you guys into it, but. Alright, Maple helped us make the thumbnail. I need to edit the description and stuff for credits and stuff, so that's gonna take a bit, but I'm just gonna post the waiting room right now. I should have done this earlier, but I woke up a little bit late, chat. I was supposed to wake up at 11, but I woke up at 12. I don't know why though. It just kind of happened. Outbreak 1 month, Annie. Okay, there you go. There's some crazy Warhammer 40k fans, but they're kind of some YouTube channels. Luckily, most of the community is nice. Yeah, I think yeah, I haven't had a bad experience with anyone yet, so that's been really nice. Yeah, I appreciate I appreciate you guys all being nice to me. It makes me very happy. Apparently, should update the Discord link on Twitch one day. Wargaming itself is super wholesome. Battle mech and mech are another great fandom. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Warhammer is that there's like a lot of love into it. I think I might have mentioned this in my last stream, but like I think it's really cool how like expansive and like deep the lore goes. Like there's a lot of like lore and story that I guess like was made over the years. Like there's so much love into it. It's really amazing. Outbreak anniversary. Okay, I'm gonna change the title and stuff later. I just want to have something to raid you guys into today. So you guys can sit there. I'll update that eventually. Let's see, what day is it? It's the 28th, and I'm gonna go live in about 3 hours, chat. So in 3 hours, I will see you guys again. I'm just gonna take a break, go shower, do some chores, eat some lunch, and then celebrate 1 month anniversary of Outbreak. We all have to build and paint models. We all read those same lore. It's a shared experience. Yeah, that's super, super sweet. I keep forgetting, no 7TV. Oh yeah, what is it? 7TV doesn't exist on YouTube. They used to have it, but it's not anymore. I'm not sure why though. I wasn't sure why. Alright, chat, I'm gonna go head out now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I hope you guys had a great time watching the lore with me. And of course, be sure to check out Bricky's, you know, all Bricky's socials and the video. Sorry, burped and all that stuff. Thank you guys for learning more about Warhammer with me and for explaining stuff to me. And I appreciate it a lot. And I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. Bye, chat. Have a great night. Take care. And I'll see you guys tonight. Good night, I'm not good night. Be right back, everyone. I'll see you. Wah!